Hi everybody, welcome to the session. I hope you are able to hear me clearly. Just waiting for confirmation of that on the YouTube channel that I'm live. So this is a session on management masterclass. We are talking about a profile building session. How do you work on your profile? Yeah, I guess I'm live here. I can see that now. It takes a 10-second delay to actually uh, show me exactly what is happening on the YouTube channel. So you guys can keep going ahead with your questions, etc. I'd be able to read this chat from time to time, but I'll keep that at the back end. Today the session is about profile building. What do you do for your profile building and your interview? So this is actually a dual structure, because when I'm talking about profile building, normally one is talking about a minimum 6 months to 12 months period. So in that context, we'll address this issue. How do you build a profile so that by March next year, which is the interview cycle for CAT-21 aspirants, how do you build your profile? Profile में क्या करना चाहिए? What are the options that you've got to build your profile? ताकि Feb March 22 के तक तुम्हारा just let me see whether I'm visible what I'm writing. या Feb March 22 तक तुम्हारा इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस ऐसा फ्रेम हो जाए, ऐसा डिज़ाइन हो जाए कि तुम्हारे प्रोफाइल के बेसिस पे आ जाए वो, राइट. एंड यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड दैट तुम्हारा इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चंस बेसिकली प्रोफाइल के बेसिस पे आएगा. और दूसरा एंगल इंटरव्यू टिप्स है फॉर दोज ऑफ यू हु आर आई मीन दिस कैन ऑल्सो बी थॉट ऑफ एज लॉन्ग टर्म इंटरव्यू टिप्स. और दूसरा एंगल है इंटरव्यू टिप्स फॉर द शॉर्ट टर्म, एंड उसमें we are looking at structuring it in such a way. We'll discuss how do you prepare for an interview in the short term. That's the second part. ठीक है. तो profile building essentially broadly your options for profile building. Let's first look at the first part of this. तुम्हारे profile building के लिए options क्या क्या हैं. और बिफोर आई गो देर मेरे को तुम लोग को आज का प्रमोशंस भी दिखाना है. व्हाट आर दी events happening and the stuff happening on Unacademy, around Unacademy. So just wanted to share all these informations for you, Unacademy Plus and Unacademy CATalyst, etc. So of course today on Unacademy CATalyst we are doing this management masterclass, which is happening from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and you've got all this thing. I'm doing the profile building course, etc. part of it, and there is discussion around OMEDs. You can see this down here, and then there's discussion around CAT-21 prep. You can see that here, and then you got colleges, what colleges to apply for, and their battles, etc. Verbal Guru, extempore. So very exciting day on Unacademy CATalyst. So just be tuned in to this during the day. That's the first point. Then I mean, this is the masterclass, and 12 hours live from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and yeah, I'm also there. They're gracious enough to put my face and my name right at the start. So I'm also there. I'm doing this profile building here, and there are a lot of other teachers. Ravi Prakash is there, and Bharat Gupta is there, and Rahul Anant is there, Shashant Rathore is there. So many people who are there available here today on the Unacademy CATalyst channel. So do follow that, and a couple of promotional messages about the courses coming up. We have a course on late. I mean, these are courses starting off. 22nd January को ये course start हुआ है. That means essentially yesterday only. Late night weekday batch for CAT-21, and this is being taught by Hitesh and Dhruv Jyoti and Ritu Dudoria. And then exclusive weekday evening batch for CAT 21 that's being taught by Himanshu and Nilanjan and Agnimitra Aman, and absolute weekday batch for CAT 21 is also there. And my batch is also coming up on Unacademy Plus, my batch on advanced data and prediction and logical reasoning. It's part of a course that started 1 month ago, but the DILR is starting on 27th Jan. So if you want to enroll for Unacademy Plus, you can use my promo code or Unacademy Iconic. Both of them you can use my promo code arun.yt. That's the promo code, you can use it and you'll get a 10% discount on the existing fees if you do that. तो ये हो गया. और then last but not the least, the most important announcement is about Unacademy Combat. So Unacademy Combat is gamified. It's a fortnightly contest for CAT, and it's the first and the largest gamified contest for CAT. It's where what happens is you compete and track the questions, and then you conquer. You get results, and you get prizes for participating. So Unacademy has done that, which is actually a beautiful way to help you prepare. And what happens is it's basically a fortnightly contest for CAT, and challenging CAT questions created by the best educators are there, and real-time ranking hota hai, compete with the best people, and there are detailed video solutions by top educators. All that is there, and you can actually enroll for free. And the next combat is happening on 24th January, that's tomorrow, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And ranks 1 to 3 get 6 months CAT Plus subscription. Ranks 4 to 10 get Amazon voucher of 1000. And you can use my promo code arun.yt to unlock this. You want to unlock Unacademy Combat and you want to participate in it, you can use my promo code arun.yt to unlock that. Okay, so that was the promotional messages that I wanted to talk about. Let's first talk about profile building then. That's the main agenda of the session today. Let me also check whether there is any questions from anyone. ठीक है, अभी तक कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आया यहाँ पे, तो it's fine. I can just continue with profile building and interview tips as it is. So profile building की जो बात कर रहे हैं, तो there are essentially 4 options you have for profile building. The first option you have for profile building, and this is exclusively available obviously only to college students, people who are still in college, is to raise your percentages, increase your percentage score, increase your marks in your college subject. This is a very effective way to improve profile, because it actually what it does, it does 2 things. One is, before you enter the interview room, if the interviewer sees something like a track like this, if you can see it, if the interviewer sees a track like this, where you have been having mediocre outcomes and mediocre performances over a past academics, which starts from 10th, 12th, and your graduation first year, or if you're doing a semester based course, let's say the graduation first 4 semesters, these has been your track record. And then suddenly 5th and 6th semesters you start doing this, and you can maintain that across the 7th semester as you give CAT. So automatically what happens is, before you enter the room, the interviewer will take you more seriously, because he sees something in your profile which he will respect. He has to respect this. Somebody languishing in the 60s, if he or she jumps to an 80s here, anybody has to respect it. You realize that this guy has taken control of his life. Somebody who's if a GPA system, somebody in the 7 to 7.5 GPA bracket over the first 4 semesters pushes himself up to get to the 9 to 9.5 semester GPA bracket in the 5th, 6th semesters, it is something which is respected. And the second thing it allows you to do, if you do this, The second thing it allows you to do is that when you go into the interview room, when you enter that interview room, they will discount the bad performance of the past because they know that we are talking to this person now rather than that person. So this is the number one process of improving profile. Start doing your, and in fact I'm one of the few CAT trainers who tell all my students, even at my institute, when people used to come, my first advice to them was always that you raise your college percentages, raise your college marks. Nothing beats it because ultimately the only thing you are doing is being a student in college, and they want to, I mean, they want to see when they are taking you in, they want to see कि तुम कितना अच्छा perform करोगे अपने course में, and they have a right to see that. They definitely have a right to see that. So I'll give you a small, I'll give you a small analogy. I love talking in analogies here. Suppose we talk about buying a shoe. You go to a market to buy a shoe, or you go online to buy a shoe. तो एक शू को तुम कितने एंगल से देखते हो, and how many shoes do you check before you decide on one shoe? You check at least 5 to 10 shoes, 5 to 10 brands and different models of the shoes before you do it, and you're so concerned. What are you concerned about when you're buying a shoe? You're concerned about style, but you're also mostly concerned about performance. Will it perform what I'm buying it for? That's the major concern you have. Does it perform what I'm buying it for? That's the major and most important concern you have when you buy a shoe. So when they're selecting this thing now, buying a shoe is essentially a high involvement purchase, but broadly, if you buy a bad shoe, it's going to hurt you, or it's going to affect your life for the next 6 months maximum. But when they're selecting a B school aspirant and they're giving you a seat, they're kind of giving you their brand name for the rest of your life. I often tell people मतलब अब तो ठीक है, with digital technology you meet more IIM graduates, but for my first 15 years of my life as a IIM graduate, many people who met me, I would have been one of the few IIM graduates they would have met. IIM Bangalore के maybe lot of people I met might have just seen 2 people, 3 people, 5 people from IIM Bangalore. So IIM Bangalore कैसा है वो मेरे I carry it with me everywhere I go, and people judge the product or the institution based on the product it has created. So तुम वहाँ जाके कैसा परफॉर्म करोगे ये तो उनका राइट है देखना, और अगर ये सिचुएशन रहा है तुम्हारे साथ तो तुमको ये क्रिएट कर लो तो ये पूरा डिस्काउंट हो जाता है. दैट्स द बिग 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 एस्पेक्ट ऑफ दिस. एंड देन यू कैन कम इन टू द इंटरव्यू रूम with a story saying that I have changed in the last 12 months. And people with poor profiles in the past need to bring the story to the interview room. So this is objective number one, or this is strategy number one when you talk about profile development. Then the other strategies, the second strategy is what I call as the second, third, and fourth. The second strategy, of course, is WorkX. This is obviously for people who are outside college. Gaining work experience is the second strategy. Just checking whether there are any questions. Not yet. So the second strategy is WorkX. Right. This is of course for people outside college, because please remember the definition of WorkX as the IIMs define it, or the B schools, the top B schools define it. The definition of WorkX is full-time, paid, after graduation. So there are three components that define work experience: full time, paid, after graduation, right? And hence internships or even a job during college, even a job during college does not count as work experience. A job during college time can add to your interview experience. It can impress the interviewers a little bit more than somebody who's just doing college. And specifically, if you can do the job during college time plus maintain great college percentages, if you have done that, then it will definitely count for your interview experience. It will definitely count in your interview. I'm just coming to your question, you will. But otherwise, internships don't matter much. Internships are not taken very seriously unless you've done an internship with a really great organization where you've done some earth shaking work. Otherwise, it does not count, right? Internship normally is a waste of time. Otherwise, so what I suggest to people is college requirements के लिए जितना internship करना है वो कर लो या उसको भी वैसे करो ताकि तुमको ज़्यादा time spend नहीं करना पड़े उसमें. Do it such a way that you don't have to spend too much time in it, or apart from that, doing internships does not help much. But job during college is a good way to improve your interview presence and improve your interview stuff, the impression on the interviewer. But it will not be counted in your WorkX column because WorkX has these three characteristics: full time, paid, after graduation. These three characteristics. The third profile building this thing node. Before I get there, I'll come to Yugal's question. In WorkX, does it matter? I am Mac engineer. If I worked in marketing or other department, will I am considered? Yes. WorkX में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि तुमको सिर्फ इस पे वर्क करना है. अपने अपने डिपार्टमेंट में वर्क करना है. It can be any WorkX. It can be any WorkX. There has to be a logic why you went for that WorkX. There has to be a strong logic for that. But apart from that, if that logic is there, then it does not matter. WorkX does not matter. It does not matter whether you did it from your department or you did it. So Mac engineer doing a job in a marketing firm, marketing and sales, perfectly okay, no issues. ठीक है. मैक्सिमम दे लास्ट यू इसकी क्यों ऐसा क्यों किया तुमने, अपने अपने एरिया में काम क्यों नहीं किया? तो उसका बहुत सिंपल आंसर है. द आंसर इज कि मैं आगे चल के मार्केटिंग सेल्स में काम करना चाहता हूँ. तो मैं सोचा कि मैं तो मैं जान गया हूँ. सो आई रियली डोंट वांट टू स्पेंड अ कंप्लीट लाइफ डूइंग मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग और दिस थिंग. उसको नेगेटिवली मत बोलना, उसको पॉजिटिवली बोलना. टॉक अबाउट इट मोर अबाउट वेयर यू वांट टू हेड टू rather than where you don't want to be. So talk about the fact that in the future you are basically looking at becoming a marketing and sales professional, and hence when you had an option, you prefer to take a marketing and sales job rather than a hardcore or what is called as a core engineering job. That's how you justify that. And the third aspect of WorkX is, and those of you who, I mean, the only difference between people going for CAT 21 and hence 22 interviews and people going for 21 interviews, the only difference is that for you, for 21 interview people, this die is already cast, right? So the third prong of developing this thing. So when you are preparing in the short term, you critically evaluate your profile, and based on your profile, you predict the interview questions you are going to get. You evaluate the interview questions you're going to get. So coming back to this, the third point, college WorkX. The third major point here is what I call as the KRC loop. So this is a term coined by me only. And the KRC loop is knowledge, reading, and this is a very powerful loop to manage your gap. Even a gap of 2 years can be justified using this loop. If you've gained knowledge in some subjects and that knowledge is gained through reading and through courses, even if the courses don't have certificates, perfectly okay. You don't need certificates for everything you do, right? But knowledge, reading, and courses. If you use this loop to identify couple of areas, identify 2 areas on which you want to learn those subjects with passion. So identify 2 areas of passion for yourself, not subjects as in subjects. Uh, नहीं Yugal, just checking a question. Work exposition does not matter, and non-MNC companies also does not matter. See, it's basically the thumb rule is, can you justify what you're doing and can you justify the learning that you got out of it? So you might be working in a kirana shop for all you care, but if it's a strong learning experience and you can justify the learning experience, you will it will be very good for you. Do you know the most sought after placement after IIM Ahmedabad in marketing? Do you know, in marketing the most sought, all the top marketing students, for them the most sought after position, the most sought after job after company after IIM Ahmedabad is HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. That's the most sought after company. And when you join HUL, their first posting, first 1 year, they will send you to a level 3 district town of Bihar or Jharkhand or Orissa or Karnataka. They'll send you there, and they'll keep you in a town, in a city which has a population of 50,000 people, and your work will be to sit at the retailers counters and talk to the retailers and keep going around all the people who are running these small kirana shops. This is the work for the first 1 year. And HUL, why it is sought after at B schools is because it is called a breeding ground. HUL is called a breeding ground of future CEOs. It's called the breeding ground of future CEOs. So you join HUL, you are sitting in a kirana shop for 1 year. So what how can you I mean, even if your jobex is a kirana shop jobex, you have to value it. If you value it and you see the value in it, you can explain that value to anyone. So don't be apologetic about anything. What I see a lot of people is that they become very apologetic about कि मैंने काम अच्छा नहीं किया और ये नहीं किया. थोड़ी ना हर आदमी को CEO of Microsoft बना दिया जाता है on this thing on day one. It takes time. It takes time to build a career. So you have taken career building moves, and as far as you can justify those career building moves to yourself, you are pretty okay with respect to your own strategy or your own logic for building a career. So it's okay. You don't need workx necessarily to be from an MNC and a very fancy brand name. It's not important. What is more important कि तुम काम क्या कर रहे थे और तुम सीख क्या रहे थे, right? So that's more important. I've sat in a lot of interview panels, so I know that this is what is going to be more valuable than anything else. So coming back to the KRC loop, what is the KRC loop? Knowledge reading courses. So as I said, in this loop, to improve the outcome of this loop, what you do is you identify 2 areas. One area you identify as a major area of passion. and another area identify as a minor area of passion, especially if you have a 1 year context. और ये दो एरियाज पे एक्सटेंसिव रीडिंग करो और एक कुछ कोर्सेज उठा लो इन पे, कोर्सेज एंड रीडिंग उठा लो इन एरियाज पे and complete a few things, do a lot of reading and be equipped with knowledge on the day. So on the day they are not going to check your certificates. तुम्हारे सर्टिफिकेट को कोई नहीं देखने वाला है. तो कोर्सेज किए हो, नॉलेज है, वर्क्स. कोर्सेज किए हो, सर्टिफिकेट है, knowledge नहीं है, does not work. You'll flounder badly in the exam, on the day of the on the D day of your interview. You'll flounder badly. They'll not consider you, and it'll be bad for you, right? So the key idea is knowledge, gaining knowledge. और मतलब on a joking note I tell people कि कॉलेज में तो पढ़ाई की है नहीं, तो एटलीस्ट एक चीज़ दो चीज़ पे तो पैशन क्रिएट कर लो. वन मेजर एरिया एंड वन माइनर एरिया पैशन क्रिएट कर लो, उसको लिव करो, ठीक है. फोर्थ prong of profile is internships, but as I told you, internships I don't recommend too much because especially if you're preparing for CAT for this year, May June will be very valuable time frame, both from two viewpoints. If you are a college student, तभी internships करोगे, कॉलेज के बाहर हो तो internships तो नहीं करोगे. तो one aspect is that when you're doing internships, तुम्हारा May June का time, which is the only time where you're dedicated to CAT during the year, बाकी टाइम तुमको कॉलेज के साथ मैनेज करना पड़ेगा, वो टाइम निकल जाएगा. दैट्स वन प्रॉब्लम. और दूसरा प्रॉब्लम है कि एज ए सेड, उसका जो वैल्यू है, द रिटर्न ऑन द टाइम इन्वेस्टेड, रोटी, return on time invested in the context of improving your ability to crack the interview, etc., that's very poor. There are much better things you can do. Yeah, of course, there's a fifth prong. If you are active participant in some sport or some dramatic activity, some art and culture stuff, तो वो तुम उसको ऐड कर सकते हो. That is another important prong. So if you're playing sports at the district or the state level, that's considered to be a good way, or that will automatically be considered as a strong profile building element for yourself. So these are things that you look for in your preparation structure. Right, these are things that you look for in your preparation framework. So just to wind up then, since we are down, I'm just checking the time, down to the last 2 minutes of this session. If you have any more questions, you can ask me. Interview preparation, I mean, if you are looking at interview preparation, let me wind up with this. In the one and a half month context, then what you have to basically do is critically evaluate. Do you have something like this? Have you created a couple of subjects in the last year? अगर है जो पैशन है तो उस पर इंटरव्यूअर को कैसे खींचोगे, वो लाना पड़ेगा. इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ, टेल मी अबाउट योरसेल्फ, व्हाट इज़ द बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट. ये सब आंसर्स, क्वेश्चंस जो स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चंस है जिस पे इंटरव्यू स्टार्ट होता है, उन सब के आंसर्स में जो आइडिया फ्रेम करोगे, क्या लिखना है, क्या बोलना है मेरे को, वो उसमें तुम you look at it from the perspective of you look at from the perspective of how you'll pull them to the idea you want to communicate, right? So with that, I guess I'll wind up for today. As I mentioned to you, my promo code for Unacademy Plus is arun.yt. And Unacademy Plus पे I'm mostly taking DILR courses, and you know DILR is a critical part of your CAT prep this thing. So I do the DILR. My courses basically are on DILR and Unacademy Plus. The next course is starting on Monday 27th, 9:15 a.m. 9 a.m. I think, 9:15 a.m. Yeah, 9 a.m. I think, yeah, 9 to 10:30. It's around a 30-hour program on DILR, which I'm doing with the Plus subscribers and the iconic subscribers of Unacademy Plus. You can join that. Arun.yt is the promo code. You'll get a 10% discount if you use that on the payment platform, right, of Unacademy. Chalo. So that's all, everybody. Any more questions? Just checking. Yeah, you can do courses in marketing and finance also. Even if you're interested in marketing, you can do finance, marketing, and operations. You can mix the three. No issues. You can do that. Chalo. Thank you so much, everyone.